Okay, so here we are again at Image Comic Expo. Needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him anyway. Todd McFarlane, you guys all know him. Todd, before we get into everything else around you, let's go back a little bit. Well,
okay.
Actually, 20 years.
All right.
You're one of the original founders of Image Comics. Looking back now, 20 years later, what are your thoughts, especially when you look around and see all this?
Well, it took us 20 years to have our first convention, so another 20 years we'll have our second one, I guess. No, here's what I'm proud of is that when we started, a lot of us just sort of started for personal reasons. You know, we all sort of banded together and came out of it. But one of the things that we wanted to do was to say that we were going to survive, because if independent creators went off, started their own thing and failed, it wasn't going to send a good message out to the community, right? We had to succeed to sort of set ourselves up so that we could say that you as a creator can come out and do your own projects. Not necessarily with Image, but there are options and you can do it.
Because say, hey, we can do it.
If we can do it, you can do it, right? And, oh, by the way, you know, Image now is a bit of a safe haven if you want to come out and do your own book like Chew or Walking Dead and own it and go have the success. Image doesn't, still to this day, after 20 years, doesn't own anything. Everybody who walks in the door owns their own characters, and we've got the best deal out there. And although some of the critics wrote our obituary in year one, we're 20 years into it, and we're not going away. I keep telling people, I go, even if everybody went away, I'm going to put the Image logo on Spawn until I die. So that Image company is going to survive some way or another. And if I don't do it, I know Eric Larson will put it on his book. So Image Comics not going away.
Yeah, and I talked to some of the other founders, Jim Valentino, who's here also, and Will's not too long ago. I asked them, same thing I'm going to ask you, is back then, Will's described you guys as we were just a bunch of young Turks doing our own thing.
Right.
At that time, did any of you specifically, did any of you just think, like, what are we doing here? And do you have any regrets or anything now, 20 years later?
No, when I came out, again, I was flying high with Spider-Man, right? You know, Jim Lee was flying high with X-Men. You know, Eric was doing some Spider-Man, and Rob was doing some mutant stuff. So I had no doubt. If any of the other guys had any doubt, I had no doubt that we would be able to move from the left to the right, because the upside of being an artist or downside, is that we can usually only do one book. So I knew that if we moved all of our talent from here to here, that people were going to have to come and buy our books, regardless of what the characters were, right? Nobody cared what Spawn was when they bought the first issue. The reason they bought Spawn wasn't because of the character. They bought it because they liked my artwork. So they go, he's not doing Spider-Man anymore, but I like his artwork, so if I want to collect his artwork, I have to go buy this book called Spawn. Now it was up to us then to take our new characters and make them worthwhile, to have it so they would last, you know, hopefully for our lifetime. But that was the play. The play was, and the reason why over the years the artists have failed, or the writers have failed, is because whenever they try to do their independent books, they also want to keep doing the book from Marvel and DC. And Robert Kirkman showed them that you have to turn the spigot off, just like we did artistically. Writing-wise, you have to turn the spigot off and take all your talents and go, I'm now going to write 3 books, but they're all going to be over here under my own umbrella and my own creative auspices, and I'm not going to let you have the option of going, do I buy Robert Kirkman's newfangled, unknown book called Walking Dead, whatever that is, or Robert Kirkman's X-Men book, right? You have to move the crowd over to where you were, and the writers, unfortunately, don't want to do that.
Do you talk to any younger artists, writers coming up today, and do you tell them about the Image way, so to speak?
No. The only thing that Image should sort of inspire them is that there's other possibilities out there. Don't let them talk you into that there's only 2 ways to make a living. Now, again, I enjoyed my time both at Marvel and DC. I enjoyed the heck out of it, right? I had lots of friends there, and enjoyed drawing Spider-Man, did some Batman stuff, Infinity. I mean, I had a good ride. But when I got tired of the ride, then we created our own option, and that option's still there. 20 years later, what we're just saying is that if you get tired of those options, and some people can work for those companies for 50 years, God bless them, right? But if you ever get to the point where you go, I'd like to try something different, then companies like Image have proven that you can go out on your own and succeed, right? And Robert Kirkman's sort of the latest big example that you can come out, not work for the big two, create something new, and the world will actually react to it.
And 20 years ago, something that you created also succeeded right behind you, Spawn. So 20 years later, how do you see Spawn and how all of us out here react to him?
Well, again, all your characters sort of have ebbs and flows. Superman and Spider-Man and Batman, they all sort of had their high points and their low points. So, for us, we got out of the gate hard and fast. We had a lot of stuff out there with the TV and the movie and video games. The toys came out. There's a little bit of sort of an ancillary lull out there. But, if we can get that next movie off the ground again, introduce it to a whole new generation, all that stuff comes back, and then all of a sudden you're back on the horse riding high. But that's okay, because, while I'm trying to sort of get my script done for the Spawn movie, Robert Kirkman doing a TV show setting records, somebody's doing it. I've had my 15 minutes of fame. I actually sort of get a kick that Robert's having a good ride right now, and hopefully somebody else from Image will take up the mantle after Robert.
Where is the new Spawn movie?
The script's about halfway done. I've got plenty of production people lined up, and then I've got an Academy Award-winning actor who came out to the office who phones me once a week going, when's that script done? Because he wants to be in on it. So everybody's just waiting. It's the same answer I've been given for the last year and a half. They're all just waiting on me, and I'm raising a family, running my businesses, doing comic books, so I get distracted. I'm going to have to finish that script up, and then we'll rock and roll with it.
You want to make it a sequel or a reboot?
No, it's a complete reinvention of it. I'll write, produce, and direct it myself. So that's the deal I make in Hollywood, and they're like, fine, where's the script? I mean, they're not arguing with those aspects. They'll let me direct it. They're just saying, hey, where's the script? Get the script done.
Yeah, and also you just mentioned Robert Kirkman and his little show that he has on AMC. Season 2, right behind us here. Another reason to go get it. Designed by McFarlane Toys. That's what the DVD case will look like.
Robert and I have got a meeting, in Hollywood next week to talk about that character.
About Haunt.
Yeah, sure. So, this is what I'm saying to the creative community. Go out there, create your characters, and a little bit of dumb luck comes your way, and you never know what's going to happen, right?
Now, as a Packer fan, I got to ask you this. Down here, you got Tebow time. Now that he's MVP, is there a new one coming for Aaron Rodgers?
Oh yeah. Aaron Rodgers, absolutely. Again, not just from a Packer point of view, but you go out there and you pick the players. When we do this 4 sports, we have the license for football, baseball, basketball, hockey. The guys we pick are either the ones that the TV shows are talking about, Sports Center and the Fox News and all those, or the guys that are on the cover of Sports Illustrated and all those magazines, or it's a guy who plays on a team that everybody now is like jumping on the bandwagon of a team, right? So the Packers have already, given that they won the first 2 Super Bowls, already have their legacy behind them. But Aaron Rodgers is now coming out of the shadows of Brett Favre as that new hero, and so we'll be doing lots of him.
And for the Denver fans, are you going to do one with him Tebowing?
You know what? We asked the league and the union, and they both said no. No, they said, which is fair. They said that it's sort of a personal gesture that he does, and they don't want to exploit it. So we'll do Tim Tebow, but not in the post.
So again, Todd McFarlane, McFarlane Toys. What is the website where we can find everything, updates, everything?
You can either go to spawn.com or you can go to mcfarlane.com, and it's got all the comic book toys, everything we're doing at any time. So, and again, we just started selling statues and with the Walking Dead toys and stuff like that. So anybody wants to get an update, go to either. You plug in either one of those addresses, take you to the same spot. So.
What's up? There you go. You can find everything there. Todd McFarlane, again, thanks a lot on the Geek Speak Show. And again, congratulations on 20 years of Image.
Okay, we'll be back in another 20, having another updated interview, okay?
We'll see you then.
That's right.